What's up and welcome back to Where It All Began. That's right. Kind of Funny's MCU in review. Baron, I think the gym's broken again.
I think it is.
There it is. Just staring at me in the
Jimmy,
eyes.
what are you doing, Jim?
Of course, this is Kind of Funny's in review, where each and every week we rank, review, and recap different movie franchises. This is the latest entry in the MCU, Agatha All Along. Of course, I am Tim Geddes. I'm joined by the Nitro Rifle, Andy Cortez.
Hello.
The Big Daddy, Greg Miller.
Hi, Tim. It's me, Greg Miller, flying through the air. We're slowing it down just a second or a minute, because I'm in the air. I'm nudie and I'm flying. I'm peeing and I'm pooping.
And I'm dying.
Jesus.
Good.
Jesus.
Can you imagine Nick looking up in the sky
This
to
is
see
like
a
fifth show
naked
today.
Greg Miller?
Peeing and pooping.
Peeing and pooping. Just peeing and pooping in the air. Holy shit. The producer slash seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Top of the evening to you, Tim.
Top of the evening to you as well. Oh, man, what a start. What an energy. You'll love to see it. Like I was saying, this is in review. Each and every week, we rank, we review, we recap different franchises. This week, we're doing Agatha All Along. Next week, we will be doing Inside Out 2, the long-awaited return to Pixar in review. The movie is on Disney+. We have the open week. We will be reviewing it. And then, very exciting news. I can officially confirm I have got the buy-in of every single gentleman at this table. The week after that, the week of the finale of The Penguin, we will be doing The Penguin being added to Batman
Sweet.
in review. So really exciting times all around. If you love what we do, please support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free. Watch us record them live and get a daily exclusive Greg Way. You can get in review for free and with ads without the exclusive content on YouTube and podcast services around the globe as well, if you do not have the dollar to toss our way. But if you do, we appreciate you very, very much. Just like our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Drummer Boy, James Hastings, Casey Andrew, and Nathan Lamoth. You're truly the best of us.
He was a drummer boy. I was flying nudie. Pooping in peace.
Flying nudie thing. Also, like,
After he had one big hit, he has one big hit, and the producers in the studio, like, he just keeps on doing songs about nudie.
like, also,
stop.
like, you know that Greg Miller has a small child because he's using the word nudie. You know what I mean? Today we're brought to you by New World Eternum and Phasmophobia, but we'll tell you all about that later. We got to get into it. Agatha All Along, a spin-off from the series WandaVision, released in 2021, which was the first ever of the Disney Plus TV shows in the MCU. This is the 11th television series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
No shit.
11.
The 11th television series.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been like 6.
Oh, no, there was like 6-year one. You know what I mean? They're just banging these things out.
God damn. That's nudie.
And also, I mean, we also saw a teaser of the next like 6 projects coming out the rest of this year and next year that I did a live reaction, or I guess live reaction to. You can check that out on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames or on the In Review podcast feed. So if you're listening to this, you probably listened to that. And if you didn't, you can go back and listen to it. I have white hair in the video. It's a lot.
Great with white hair.
It's pretty
Well
good.
Crushed it.
Pretty sick.
So that preview, is it the same thing that played before this episode?
Yes.
Okay. Then it's not longer in any way?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. That was the original purpose of it, was to be like the Agatha's ending. So let's get hyped
Love
about
that.
more things, but it leaked early. So that's
okay.
why people were
Love
talking about
that.
it earlier. But some fun stuff about Agatha All Along. I don't know if y'all remember, it was first announced in late 2021 after the success of WandaVision. And they announced the show Agatha House of Harkness. And then in mid-2022, they changed the name to Agatha Coven of Chaos. And then in late 2023, they renamed it Agatha Darkhold Diaries in the Princess Diaries font. And then in May 2024, it was called Agatha the Lying Witch with a Great Wardrobe.
That's
Lying
awesome.
Witch with a Great Wardrobe. And
See
then,
what
of
they did
course, it
Lion,
ended
the witch in the wardrobe. Wow.
when they had the date
Turkish
for this.
delights. That's for you readers out there.
What did he say?
I don't know, man.
Turkish delight.
Turkish delight.
Turkish
That's
delight.
a big point in the Lion Witch.
Oh, these kids, they loved them. Oh, they loved them, Tim.
Yeah.
You can get these kids to do anything. They're cuckoo for Turkish delights, all right?
You ever had a Turkish delight, Nick?
I'm sure I have at some point. I have to I'll look up what they are real quick.
Well, then when they finally announced the premiere date for the show, they went through all the different
yeah,
titles.
these are
They're like,
terrible.
guess what? It was Agatha all along. And that's where we're at now. It was released September 18th through October 30th, 2024, with a 2-episode premiere, 2-episode finale, 9 episodes in total. The showrunner for this was Jack Schaefer, the same woman that show ran WandaVision, and is seemingly really in the Duffy with this kind of like WandaVision mini universe they're building out. We have Vision Quest coming. No confirmed date, but I mean, I guess technically the show's not even officially announced, but like we know what's happening in 2026. So we'll see how that all goes. The runtime for this, the episodes range between 29 and 49 minutes. The music was done once again by Christoph Beck, who did the WandaVision soundtrack, and they also had Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez return for the vocal tracks.
What about Mario?
No Mario for this one.
Damn.
No, left him at home. But this duo here is that wrote obviously Down the Witch's Road that we heard a million times in this. In addition to that, they also wrote the Agatha All Along song from WandaVision, but they also wrote what, Greg Miller? What, Nick Scarpino?
The
song
McDonald's jingle.
What, Andy Cortez?
Burger King jingle.
Let It Go from Frozen.
Oh,
Let It Go.
yeah.
And the entire Frozen.
That's a good.
thing.
That
they're
wasn't
talented.
freaking Manuel.
No.
No.
No,
Did
he's Moana.
you see him dress up as Dom Mysterio, though?
I did not.
Awesome.
Awful? What's awful? There. Oh, yeah?
He doesn't look good. No, I mean, so out of shape musical man dressed in spandex trying to look like
musical man.
he ain't Hugh Jackman. All right, what do you want me to do?
And then the budget for this show, Agatha All Along, quite surprising, I'm going to say, in a very positive way, Greg. This is the least expensive live action Disney Plus, either Star Wars or Marvel property so far, at under $40 million.
Yeah,
we don't
I
know
can
the
see it.
exact budget of it, but Echo was $40 million, and they said that this was less than that. So that's pretty damn surprising. And yeah, that's all the stuff I got for you there. I want to get into our thoughts, and I want to start with the one and only Nick Scarpino. Nick, what did you think of Agatha All Along?
I really enjoyed it. I think this is the first Disney Plus show that I have watched that kept me wanting to come back for more. Every single time I finished an episode of it, and I watched it, I think, over a 3-day period, that little next episode would pop up, and I was overjoyed to be able to click on it, to the point where after the 3rd episode, I was doing the sleepy kid thing where I was like, I'm so tired, but I just want to see where this goes.
Fighting
And I
to
had to
sleep.
make myself go to sleep and then come back so I could watch it refreshed. Really enjoyed this. It was very, very surprising. And yeah, I would give this like an 8 out of 10.
Whoa.
Hell yeah. Andy Cortez.
I enjoyed it. I do think that everybody else's feelings on it maybe got my expectations a little higher than where I maybe wanted them to be. But going into this was just another show that I didn't really want to watch, and I put off watching, and ended up enjoying it fine enough. I would give it like I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. I had a good time with it. I think the twist near the end really, really awesome. I love the way all that sort of it's fleshed out so well. And I did really enjoy just moment to moment. These characters and the writing was enjoyable to be around. I never felt like there was any moment where I'm like, oh God, hurry up, just keep pushing this along or whatever. I just think they did a great job with making these characters likable and allowing this story to sort of like breathe a little bit. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. Aubrey Plaza rocks. I love her.
Hell yeah.
Did
Greg
you not
Miller.
want more of her? Do you feel like you got enough Aubrey Plaza?
No, there's never enough Aubrey
Fair
Plaza.
enough. Yeah.
No, that's true. Greg, what'd you think of Agatha All Along?
I ran hot and cold on it throughout. I never was like, I hate this. It was never bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it was that thing where there'd be episodes like, this is fucking awesome, and then we get to another episode like, I don't care about nearly anything that's happening here. And I feel like a lot of the things they set up that were like gonna be the exclamation points or the I can't wait to see where this is going. I usually was into the setup and not so much the reveal. And so I had a fine time with it. It's not a standout for me in terms of one I think I'm gonna remember fondly. Catherine Hahn is awesome. You know what
Amazing.
I mean? The guy who plays Teen, it did a great job as well. Like
Full name teenager.
they were great. It's just like we'll get into all of it, I guess, eventually. But like for me personally, it was a hot and cold thing. I'm happy to be done with it.
I think I'm with Nick. I'd give this an 8 out of 10. But having said that, I really loved this. Like I feel like week to week, this was something I was looking forward to. I think it started off good. And then kind of just rose all the way to being great. And I feel like by the end of it, it's stuck that landing in a way that none of the, or very few of the Disney Plus shows have done. And I feel like this is cohesive as a singular story in a way that most of them aren't, except for the ones that I like most, like Loki season 1 and 2. I feel like both did a great job of that. WandaVision is also one of my favorites, and I feel like it did a great job. But the dreaded Marvel finale of one of these Disney Plus shows is always the biggest issue of like, how are they going to wrap it up? And I feel like this show didn't have that problem. In fact, I feel like having the final 2 episodes air at the same time, as I was watching episode 8 of 9, I was like, this feels like any other season's finale. Like, what are they going to do in the next one? And I feel like it acted as a epilogue in a really important way that kind of put a nice bow on what the whole series was. Episode 7, I think, is one of the best things Marvel's done, period. The Tower episode. It was so incredibly special, and it paid off on all the things that I was like, early in the season, like, I don't know if I like this. What are they doing? Like, I'm sure this is going to come back. And it came back in a way that I'm like, damn, I'm so satisfied with this. And how this show connects to WandaVision while also being its own thing. And I feel like it being its own thing, but then at the end kind of having all the twists and reveals pay off to, oh man, this is Wanda's kid, and this makes sense. And the experience that Billy's having is very similar to what we saw Wanda go through in WandaVision, like creating all these like fake realities. Very interesting stuff. I think having the showrunner do multiple shows really paid off to be able to have a lot of themes, both musically but also character-wise, come back and be able to tie into each other. Aubrey Plaza's a goddamn legend. Having her in this is a pleasure. I can't wait to get more of her. And this show goes to some really, really dark places that I did not expect from Disney Plus. And the $40 million budget, Greg, you kind of were like, oh, you could tell.
I joked.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, I
Because
wasn't really
I thought it was incredible. Like I thought what they pulled off with the show shows that
100%.
like artistic design, the costume design, the set design, so many choices that they made of what was practical and what wasn't practical. I mean, perfect example of this. I saw that the swords that were falling from that was practical. Like they actually had swords fall, which is crazy. But I feel like all those little things add up to this being really special. I don't think I'm going to rank it that high, and even though I like it so much, just because the witch side of things is not really my cup of tea. But I think they did a really good job of making it work for me. And one of my favorite things about comic books, but the MCU in particular, is when we get introduced to a new world or a new corner of the MCU with rules that I can understand, that they present well. And I feel like they have done an excellent job by the end of the series of me understanding the Darkhold stuff going on and all the witch stuff that I feel like they've hinted at a bit, but now we fully kind of get the vision of it all. And it was cool. The road itself, I thought, was an amazing concept, and it made the show feel more like a TV show as opposed to, hey, we're splitting a long movie into a bunch of parts.
Totally.
And that goes a long way. I feel like this was very refreshing. I feel like going into this was easily a project that I'm like, why the hell are we doing this? And I feel like coming out of it, I'm like, oh, they had a reason why they were doing it. And what they're building towards, I can't freaking wait for. So
the story and the plot was so perfect to be structured as that sort of episodic TV show, Monster of the Week or like Maze House Trial of the Week or whatever. But yeah, I agree with you on the way that it looked. Like none of it ever. Whenever we watch some of these shows that just go straight to streaming service or whatever, it looks like a TV show, and this one always looked a step above what just a normal TV show would be. It felt very, whether it's like the quality of cameras they're using or just like the color grading, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it always felt a step above of what we'd expect from one of these like straight to TV things, you know?
And I feel especially like wowed by this because I watched it week to week with the Penguin, which I think is just like peak TV. And obviously it's HBO. There's so much more going into that. That's a serious story. So we're supposed to care about it more or whatever. And I can't believe how much this show stood on its own next to that, you know, because I feel like the comparisons, it would have been easy to be like, oh, that's some Disney Plus shit. You know what I mean? And not to have that, dang, they're doing it. And I feel like for a while I felt that way. And then it just started paying off, specifically episode 7. I'm like, I think that's as good as maybe not any Penguin episode, but like then multiple Penguin episodes. And I don't think Penguins had a bad episode. So shout out to them for, I think, pulling this off.
I appreciate that, Tim. You know, we worked really hard on the show. You know, that's the thing. You know.
Really good.
Thank you.
Are we in spoiler territory yet?
Yeah, full spoilers.
So what are they building to? You can't wait to see where they're building to.
Well,
Like
I mean,
going
it's-
after Tommy?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting the family together, right? The WandaVision family, but really it's Young Avengers, which one of my favorite comic runs is the 2 Young Avengers runs that called the Children's Crusade. It gets one of the big thing they're building to, which is getting the Scarlet Witch back, right? And I mean, where we're at in the movies, that makes a lot of sense. Obviously, they've taken some turns that are different from the comics, but
I loved the line, you know, is Wanda dead?
Gone.
Well, no, they remember, doesn't he ask her on the road if she's dead? And
She goes, yes. No.
No, maybe? Thanks for being honest. But it was like a very genuine, like, nobody really knows.
Yeah, but then I thought you were talking about Aubrey Plaza. At one point, she says she's gone. She doesn't say dead, which I'm like, all right, I like that they're hinting at that.
So-
It could be a bunch of things.
Billy Batson. Billy is Wiccan,
Yes.
and Tommy
Speed.
Speed. I don't like that name.
Yeah.
Let's change that.
Okay.
Feige, where you at? Let's change Speed.
So they're gonna get Tommy at some point, right? And then there's also some other Young Avengers that aren't necessarily just because they're young doesn't make them a Young Avenger. Like Miss Marvel's not in the Young Avengers, so I don't know where if they're gonna
Really?
do that stuff. Yeah,
I don't
Kate
like that.
Bishop is, but again,
They can
She's
whatever they
great. No,
want.
I
they can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
Put her
yeah.
in there.
just put her in.
I mean, she's such a great. Iman Vellani is like just a
Put her in
treasure.
anything.
Yeah, I want to see her acting.
I want her and Aubrey Plaza.
opposite anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Now we're going to get into the plot of this whole thing. But we're going to do that after a word from our sponsors. This episode's brought to you by Phasmophobia. The genre-defining horror game is finally out now on consoles. Yes, that's right. The phenomenon that is Phasmophobia has finally entered console early access on PS5, PSVR 2, and Xbox Series X and S, with full cross-play support across all platforms from day one. Join the already almost 20 million players on Steam, including our very own Snowbike Mike, and get ready for some spine-chilling ghost hunting with up to 3 friends. Experience the horror as you investigate immersive haunted locations and gather evidence to help you succeed. With several different ghost types and unique traits, no ghost hunt is ever the same. Making sure you work as a team and utilize your equipment is the key to making it out alive. It's time, Ghost Hunters. Phasmophobia is out now on PS5, PSVR 2, and Xbox Series X and S. Gather your friends and prepare for the terrifying ghost hunts that await. This episode is brought to you by New World Eternum. New World Eternum is a thrilling action RPG experience for console and PC players with a vibrant world, vast and beautiful setting, dynamic real-time action combat, and the freedom for players to choose how to forge their destiny. Combat is skill-based and dynamic, incorporating swords, guns, and sorcery so that you can build one character to rule them all as you explore Eternum and unravel the mysteries of the supernatural island that you can't leave. You love playing RPGs alone? You can in New World Eternum, or play cooperatively with your friends as you complete quests, get better gear, and level up. Greg played this at Summer Game Fest on PlayStation 5 and was caught off guard by how much he enjoyed it and how many hours he said he could see himself sinking into the final product. There's boss fights, cool enemies, crossplay, resource gathering, and crafting. So yeah, this sounds like a Greg game. New World Eternum is available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
Mid burp right there. Whatever.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean?
All right, hold on. Let me see if
Here
I
we
got
go,
this
here we
right. Down, down, down the hole. That's
No.
not the right key.
I don't think that's the right word.
Hold on.
either.
Down, down, down the hole, down Greggy's plot hole. It's not the right keys. I don't know what's going on with the piano. I mean,
Before the show, you were crushing it. I don't know what this
It
is.
says A minor. That's an A minor.
Minor.
And a D minor. Or is that a... No, that's D minor. And then E minor.
Nick is looking at with you with disgust.
Yeah, you're.
I don't know.
It doesn't.
It's
seem
about going
very-
down.
Thank you, Barrett.
It's about
Thank you for
going down
clearing
somebody's
that up.
plot hole. You know.
Yeah, down Greg's plot hole.
Go down
We
your
got
plot
that
hole.
part.
Nudie.
No.
Did you ever think about that, Tim? Under all these clothes, I'm nudie. Anyways, welcome to Agatha.
Think about it every day.
Along, as you know, for the in reviews that involve these many episodes, we read from the Wikipedias. Episode 1: Seekest thou the road?
They're all lyrics of the song.
No. 3 years after the defeat by Wanda Maximoff in Westview, New Jersey, the witch Agatha Harkness is trapped under Wanda's spell, believing herself to be the police detective Agnes O'Connor within a crime noir television series titled Agnes of Westview, where she is fixated on a Jane Doe murder case.
I
Loved this.
love this.
Loved it. As
But-
soon as it started,
Yeah,
and
I was like, are they doing Mar of Easttown?
It's exactly. It's one of those where like I had done. We must have done a reaction. Maybe we didn't. Who the hell knows? I don't know. I knew nothing about the show other than it's Agnes. Okay, great. Or Agatha. And so when it starts and she's doing the accent, and I was like, I see what you're going for. And then they did the credits, and I started laughing. Jen's like, what? I'm like, this, I don't know. And I'm like, I don't know anything about what we're watching, but I know that these can't be the real credits. And then it did the like, based on the Danish version, Agnes. And I'm like, they're like doing this other take now on the Wanda thing, and that's funny, and I can't wait to see where it's going. I loved this setup.
Very cool. Oh, I was just gonna say, shout out to Catherine Hahn here doing her best. Kate Winslet. I don't know if you guys have seen Mar of Easttown, but
Loved
it was
it.
like
Easttown.
spot on. Just her, just kind of
Her,
the hair,
the flannel,
the flannel,
the
just always-
detective who's always on the outs,
just a little on the edge, yeah.
Disheveled,
a little
tired,
disheveled, really tired
getting
of
into
everyone's
the
BS.
booze late at night because she's like, it's just this awful
Great
sleepy
show.
town.
And
Everybody's
doing that
depressed.
weird, like, kind of, I guess it was Boston. Where were they? Where like it was like East.
Yeah,
I guess it
something
was
like
like
that.
in
yeah.
Mayortown or
Yeah.
Mayor of Easttown. Or whatever.
Mayortown.
Super great, and obviously, obviously a nice tie to WandaVision, and something's up here, right? Because you're like, she's a witch, she's got to be stuck in this, or she's creating this, or what's going on. Part of me was like, if this is the whole show, and she's just legit trying to solve this murder in this character, I would watch it.
I thought it was overstaying its welcome, and so then I was like, well, I'm hoping that it's going to be like WandaVision, and they jump TV show to TV show to make fun of whatever, but not, instead of doing throwback stuff, it's more modern stuff. But then, of course, Aubrey Plaza shows up. We start feeling what's going on. Who's this? You start recognizing people from WandaVision. Cool to see them all back.
So
right,
cool.
doing their thing or whatever. And then, yeah, of course, the teen break-in, grabbing him, the interrogation scene in the quote unquote interrogation room that then starts breaking down the reality. Agatha realizes what's going on. She's able to break out of it. She accidentally kidnaps this guy, walks outside nudie patootie.
First female buns in the MCU. Big
Oh,
deal.
there you
She
go.
got awarded for it.
Nice.
Yeah. I forgot what show
Can I
it
give
was.
this one more try?
Yeah,
real
go
quick?
for it,
Because I found another tab
Mm-hmm.
with chords, and it says that the other one may have been completely false.
Yeah, that seems right.
The other one seemed wrong, so this one may be correct.
Mm-hmm.
So try to sing along with me, Nick, if you don't mind, because it wants a G minor right here.
Okay.
That's a wrong instrument. One second.
Definitely sounds like a steel
Hold
drum.
on.
Jesus, God, it's getting worse.
Hold on.
And he saw the show to
Jesus
do this.
God.
Hold on.
He thought he had it. Thought he had lightning in a bottle.
Me
Here
too.
we go. Here we go. Okay, I think we're
That's
on.
it. That's it. Down,
That sounds a lot better.
down the hole, down Greggy's plot hole. It's dark.
Yeah, there we go. Those
Thank
are the
you.
right keys, though.
That's good. It's
Do
good.
you want to try the harmony? Because I was really working on it. So do you want to sing the lower part?
Oh, I'd love to.
Down, down. Because the other lady pops in and she goes, down, down, down the road, down the witch's road.
Sure, I'll try. I'll do anything with you, my friend.
Go ahead, sing it.
Oh, sure.
Down, down the road. I want you to sing the.
Oh, you want me to sing the normal
Yeah,
part?
the mid-
Okay. You said sing the harmony, the lower harmony.
No, I want.
Down, down, down the road, down the Greggy hole. He's nudie.
You go down there, there's a lot of hair down the Greggy hole.
Toby Blue says we pay for this.
You sure do.
So yeah, we ran through the stuff there, right? Of course, there's the confrontation with Rio, Aubrey Plaza, before we know what's really going on.
Great moment here where she's like, do you even remember why you hate me?
Yeah.
And she's like, no. And this is another indication of like something's going on here.
How long
It's
have we been
dude,
at
the
this?
tension
The locket,
between them
yeah, the
the
locket, of
entire
course, it's gonna
show.
be around.
Palpable,
So
sexy,
good, man.
wet.
The outfits that Aubrey Plaza wears. Every single one of them, I'm like, that's the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. Like specifically her like little green situation going on, when she looks like the Green Witch.
Yeah.
So tight.
There's a moment, I'll just skip to it now so I don't forget, not that I could. There's a moment when we're a couple episodes in during the second trial where they're in the rock studio, where they're leaning against the sound booth, and Aubrey Plaza sort of just puts her hand on Catherine Hahn's like lower thigh
Goes,
and like
no.
tickles it a little bit. I was like, I was like, this should be rated R.
And that's pretty much, those are the big hits of episode one.
We important introduction of the locket here, obviously with the kid's hair. I think we don't know what that is.
We
yet,
don't know
but
if the kid's hair.
That's incredibly important.
But you can put it together because obviously there's a bunch of throughout the show. Do you really know Agatha? She's done that. She traded her baby for the Darkhold. She did this. She punted her baby out the window. He's still flying nudie in the air.
There he is.
He's pissing shit on everything.
down,
Every August, you can see my body
down,
rotates.
Greg Haley.
Haley's comment.
Something I really appreciated as like the type of MCU nerd I am, like this show following up WandaVision, which like, I mean, we all remember what the moment of WandaVision was, right? Like we were all still feeling the high of Endgame. Week to week, we were so into this thing. And the mystery of WandaVision, like the little things that they were putting out there of like, what are they building to? What's going on? Limitless potential, it felt like. But there was a lot of weird things that they would do or say in episodes that never really had a payoff. And then this show paid off on a lot of those things. And I was very surprised that like, even like Nicholas Scratch, which is her son, right? She kept talking about Scratch in WandaVision, like constantly would like bring it up when she was Agnes, like throughout the different decades. And we thought it was building to Mephisto. It wasn't. We get the Mephisto name drop in this show, though.
An agent of Mephisto.
And it's just really cool that like a lot of those things that I thought they were just going to completely drop, like did come back in some way. And you know how nerdy I am about the music stuff. The amount of times they would use the WandaVision theme in the back, or even the Agatha all along, like in different styles and shit. I'm like, this is. They know what they're doing, man. They pulled it off.
A big moment of hit, and you hear ba-num-bum-bum, ba-num-bum-ba-dum. You'd be like, oh, wow. They're really hinting towards Mephisto.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Number 2 of your episode count goes Circle Sown with Fate, Unlock Thy Hidden Gate. We didn't talk about when she asked Teen his name and he does the little thing because he's got the spell on him or whatever.
Cool.
I thought that was really cool, and I liked the Agatha being Teen.
Did you guys know who Billy was or who Teen was?
No.
No.
No,
Is it the same actor?
No, God, no.
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 Oh, he's a little baby, right?
Yeah,
Did
and
you
also
know
he's a
from the
different
jump?
person.
I mean,
Right, he jumps.
No, but I'm saying like, well, because I feel like their facial features are kind of like, didn't one of them have like larger ears? One of the kids?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't notice
I
that.
could have sworn like this kid grew up from that kid. Like once it
No.
happened, I was like, oh, but they are different. Like this is
Yeah.
a random teen that was just like in a car wreck or whatever.
Yeah.
hey, there's a big ear kid. Shit, you were right. That kid's got huge fucking ears.
He got some honkers.
Yeah, it's like me.
Anyways, no, I didn't know. I assumed it was some kind of connection to that, but I was like, I don't know. How would you make that make sense? And they don't tell us for long. But I wasn't like, well, I assume you.
I mean, I just knew just because I know the comics and stuff. But
Gotcha.
like, yeah, I thought they did a really good job of like having it be very obvious and be able to, once they reveal it, like you work backwards, like, oh shit. But like they didn't give it away early, which I thought was cool.
Teen reveals he freed Agatha from the spell and wishes to travel the Witch's Road, which rewards any witch who survives its trials with what they desire most. In Agatha's case, the restoration of her powers. Agatha also realizes magic is preventing her from learning any personal information about Teen, including his name. Needing a coven to open a portal to the road, the pair recruits a bunch of witches who all have reasons to walk the road as well. Needing a green witch but not wanting to recruit Rio, Agatha instead turns to Westview resident Sharon Davis, a.k.a. Mrs. Hart. That was a great one of tricking her. It's a party.
Yeah.
I'm throwing a
Lovely.
party. Can you come down here? And yeah, shout out to Mrs. Foreman. Still out there killing
Kitty
it.
Foreman, man.
Great, so many great lines of, and this is why I love the writers and the showrunners of this show. Is like there are so many good, just throwaway, random lines of comedy that hit well, and then you move on immediately. It's not meant to be this big laugh
Yeah.
moment, but like I
It's just
laughed
mostly a sign.
I laughed so hard, and I believe episode 3 or 4, probably 3, when Agatha throws the wine on the ground in anger, and she goes, "Not the upholstery."
Yeah.
It's so good. Like they have so many great moments like that.
Even when they start singing the song and she's like, am I supposed to know
Yeah.
this song?
Yeah.
It's just, so she's just going along with it and she's like clapping, like so freaking funny.
For me in this one, the laugh out loud moment was when she goes to the one witch's like nice nice shop or whatever, and then it makes the jade egg joke in the beginning, and then on the way out grabs it. I'm taking the jade egg. You know where to find it.
This episode was the one that I feel like early on I was like least in on. I liked once they got the team together and like they started singing and shit. I was kind of hyping them into it. But something about the pacing of this, them getting the team together, just being a bunch of new characters, I was like, I don't know. This feels like way too much. And I just didn't have faith in them like actually fleshing the characters out. And I was fucking wrong. But this episode kind of stood out to me as like I don't know. I don't know if this show's hitting that level for me.
Agreed. I think, yeah. For me, that's my problem with the shows that didn't work for me. It's when it's ensemble, where I liked it when it was like, here's the Billy episode, and here's the Agatha episode, and here's even Agatha dealing with death. You know what I mean? Like that I liked a lot. When it was hey, we have a whole bunch of voices in here, I felt like I kind of got not lost, but for me it lost momentum of why I'd tune in for this.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm a sucker for we got to go on an adventure and we have to lay that out and it's down the yellow brick road and it's all that stuff. I mean, that was so fun for me, especially since this is the Halloween season and I was like clamoring for something new like that. And so for them to see Agatha and you get that inkling where you're like something's up here, specifically like with putting the team together and then also with like, do you know the door's there? You don't know the door's there? We don't know.
I mean, when she opened it and she had that look
and she
of like,
touches
what the fuck?
she touches the dirt and she's like, oh shit, like you know something's up, and it's so intriguing to me. And then of course, talking about the production design, right, and talking about how this show did a lot with very little budget for what we're talking about. Like, just it was very very creative and inventive, and I think that's what you have to do when you're doing like a fun supernatural like what would the genre be for this? Like, I guess
witchy?
Superhero, but witchy kind of, like Halloween style movie. It needs to be fun and it needs to kind of hit on that visual level. And the staircase winding down and having that moment of like claustrophobia as they turn back and they touch the roof and it's gone and you realize you're on this path now. And then to see Agatha being like I don't, like you said, and looking back on it now, obviously there was no such thing as the Witch's Road until today, and you see that in her performance there. Then your subconscious picks up on it, but you're not quite sure. So I just love as we get there and we see the flowers on the road and all that stuff and how they have to take their shoes off and everything is just, it feels like an 80s like spooky Halloween style movie
type thing.
And then just to take that step forward and to sort of deconstruct the production design and even having Aubrey Plaza walk off the set and then cut open the psych behind her and walk out of it like none of this is all just something weird. It reminds me a lot of like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which I love season 1 on, and also like Return to Oz and a lot of these movies that probably shouldn't have been made when I was a kid, but they were. Yeah. And they're trippy as fuck. I like that they went there and I like that there was an edge to this.
This was a lot spookier than I thought it'd be.
It was freaky.
It hit you with like some like kind of terrifying imagery at some point.
Well, even like
sure.
like the face dysmorphia when they go into this first house and having that
I thought was more comical.
It was comical, but at the same time, we could imagine watching that as a kid and have it hit on the same level as like witches,
sure,
right?
Sure,
You're like, whoa, what's going on here?
For me, it's like them constantly getting tossed off the road into the muck and sucked down is so never-ending storytelling.
So never-ending
story.
Like, okay. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, moving on. Number 3 on the Roper Report.
I'm going to tell you, I had a really weird moment of dissociation, Greg. Remember when you and I were playing Alan Wake, and
This is where I hurt my elbow.
there's a shot in the game, Tim and Nick, that's like you're looking at a computer monitor, and there's a Post-it note on the computer monitor in the game, and Greg was like, "How did you know the password to the code to get in?" And I was like, "Well, the Post-it note," and I pointed at the Post-it note, and Greg just kind of like froze, and he was like, "Look, if I'm lying, I'm dying." For some reason, I was like, "How did you know that password?" And I thought I thought that Post-it note was actually
on the TV.
On the screen, and I thought you were pointing at a real physical Post-it note. Earlier, Tim went, this episode was...
Yes. I looked, you can roll it back.
And I was like, is
he
he about to go into ads right
this
now? What's
episode is
going
brought
on?
to you by Shady Rays.
Dude,
Like, it looked so much like you were doing an ad.
Like, the cadence, everything about it, I felt like, I was like, am I on a show right now? Like, I just had a freak out moment.
Yeah. A Mako freak out.
Yeah, so I'm glad I wasn't alone there, because it felt very... You went into the same... This episode was really, really good because of blah, blah, blah. It really threw me off.
Episode 3, Through Many Miles of Tricks and Trials. Agatha explains that to reach the end of the road, the Coven will face trials focused on different branches of witchcraft. They also realize that Teen's sigil prevents any witch from learning his identity. At the first trial, the Coven finds a coastal house with a bottle of wine that everyone but Teen drinks. Then we go into all the details here.
I mean, this is where they won me back. It's like, oh, we got trials, we got the setup here, and even the concept of Agatha being able to steal their powers if they use it on her, and it's just like that kind of like push and pull of it. I was like, oh, we got some good stakes here.
Yeah, I thought this was a cool one of like, again, shaking it up visually and getting me excited for what visuals they could do in this thing. Of like, I thought the house was so different. The fact that all of their clothes changed. I wrote down the quote here in my notes. If you're waiting for a charcuterie, I don't think it's coming. If you're waiting for a charcuterie, I don't think it's coming. I was like, that's funny. And yeah, the wine stuff was great. The interaction with Sharon, let alone the Mrs. Hart versus Sharon part of it. Agatha acting like she had been poisoned and stuff, like pulling her hair in front of her face and then acting out. It was good stuff here. Good stuff here.
But I think it also just does a great job of kind of dealing with the different. It sets a good scene for dealing with what the characters are dealing with personally, and then you wonder how they're going to follow that up throughout the rest of the show, and they do that. Like this is kind of the start of it all, of seeing little glimpses of what's really kind of traumatizing them, or what stuff is from their past that may come back to haunt them. They do a great job of kind of following up.
Like, what are they trying to get at the end of the road, and like setting all that stuff up, and then the way it all pays off, I just think is, we're jumping ahead a little bit here, but like one of the things that I really appreciate about the show is that it wasn't all they do the trial, they complete the trial, we move on. There was like some misdirection and change ups, and one of the things for me is when the herbist, or what's her name,
herbologist,
herbologist, whatever that is. Sorry, what?
Her last name's Kale.
When she
Jennifer Kale
disappears because she gets what she wants. She gets her powers back, and she like leaves the road. Like, we all know now that the road doesn't exist. She thinks it does. She thinks that she got to the end of the road.
Well, it does now.
So freaking cool. I guess
you know what I mean?
true.
Like that's the question that they leave you with is like, does this exist? Is this a place where other witches can now go and like unlock the power that they want to unlock or something like that? I also just want to give a shout out to any time there is a class of like people with powers, right? It's like witches. And then there are the subgenres of those things. I love the verticals. I'm such a sucker for that. Harry Potter did it. They do it here too, where they've got a telepath, or not a telepath, but a person that can like a seer, right? They've got an herbologist. They've got a protector who's like the heavy, and then they've got what they're supposed to get, which is like a green person or whatever it is, the green witch, whatever it is. But they never get her because, of course,
they need
it's
a green witch, and she's like, no, I'm not a green witch. I'm the green witch.
I'm the green witch.
Oh, yeah, you are.
And it's so much cooler thinking about how, and kind of sad, thinking about how what Agatha's original plan was, and you obviously
kill
get
them all.
Yeah, but like it's so cool thinking back to it, the fact that what was her plan getting the neighbor lady? Like, what was she planning on doing with that? And then you watch the end of the show and you're like, oh, there never was a plan. It was just she's just here to be whatever. That's awesome.
This is one of those not rare shows, but maybe rare shows.
No, I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Where when you end it, you're like, oh, it makes the other stuff so much better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I saw the comment went by earlier. People, you know, how like rewatching it to watch all that for all that stuff would make so much sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do think that the payoff at the end of what they were doing and why they were doing it enhances all the stuff happening here.
Yeah, because you forget at a certain point she does the thing where it doesn't work and she starts in on them, and then one of the other witches is like, don't do it. She's trying to bait you right now or whatever, and then the door opens and we never really get to discover that. But
another thing I really like too is like this being a follow-up to WandaVision. Like, obviously what made that show so special was every episode having completely different genre or like different references. This having the trials, it kind of had that feel too, and I think they were really creative with the costuming of the era specific or whatever it was.
The 80s one got me, obviously.
So good,
everything.
right? But
or
on top
genre,
of that,
because you think about like the Disney sort of weird Maleficent.
Exactly.
vibe,
All that stuff. Just so cool. They found a good excuse to keep the creativity of WandaVision, but like make it witchy. But on top of that, the Witch's Road song and like how it just kept coming back in different forms, and how, I mean, legitimately, like it's the plot of the show and it's so important, and it was like, and she made it up and it tricked all the witches. The fact that they made that song so important and it didn't come off cringy or corny, it's like, it felt brilliant to me. Like, I feel like the song having so much resonance with all of the different characters, having the one in here having the big pop rock rendition of it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But like having her mom be this like
Janis Joplin style character.
So freaking cool, man. I'm just very impressed.
And I
with
love
all
that
stuff.
payoff too. I love that payoff too, where it's like the song is like was to ward
Protection
off
spell?
a protection spell.
I can get
basically.
you. That's episode 4.
Yeah.
If I can't reach you, let my song teach you. After burying Sharon, the Coven is forced to summon a replacement Green Witch. Rio emerges from Sharon's grave, much to Agatha's annoyance. The Coven encounter a house with a 1970s aesthetic that prompts renewed feelings of grief for Alice, as it turns out to be a recording studio tied to Lorna. And yeah, as we go on, we talked about all this stuff, right? And the production spell, team plays it backwards. The demon comes out.
I love, for whatever reason, I'm watching this and I'm watching them play and they're fighting the demon and I'm thinking Tenacious D. I don't know why. I'm just like,
that the demon looked like it. For me,
So
this was a down episode where I was struggling to stay interested. Where I was just like, I don't like this.
I liked it.
No, I liked it as well.
Great.
Yeah, love this. Love that this is Alice Alice's trial, right?
Yeah.
Love that she kind of realizes that her mom did this whole thing for her, and we learn more that her mom was potentially stuck on the road. I'm not quite sure what happened to her mom now that you realize the road was never really a thing. Maybe she got killed by Agatha. I'm not quite sure, but do we know what happened to her mom?
I don't remember, and I was watching this week to week, so I feel like you guys all, to some extent, binged it.
Yeah,
But like, that was months
I just
ago,
know
man.
that they set it up that her mom went to the road looking for something and then never came back. So her mom's theory. So the whole time I'm thinking, we're going to encounter her mom, but in reality there was no road. So potentially Agatha.
Infinite Corpse reminds you she died on tour. Remember, that's the thing where everyone thinks she died on the road, and Alice confirms like, no, she died on tour. That's all bullshit. She had a hotel room somewhere.
The fire demon grabbing the shoulder was also a nice little touch.
Yeah, the
Getting that
scar.
scar.
I convinced myself it was a birthmark.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, she's free now.
She's free now, and then she immediately gets it taken away.
This is the episode that really, to me, elevated Agatha's character, where I'm like, you're a bad guy. And like, they're letting her just be a very, very bad person.
Was this the one where she
Hit the button.
She hit the button, revealed to everybody about Aubrey Plaza's?
Yeah. I love that stuff, man. I feel like it leans way, like, she's one of the more evil villains we've had, and she's our protagonist here. And like, they do a good job of like making us care about her, but like, they also don't shy away from her just being kind of fucking an evil bitch.
It's a weird balance, and it's hard to do. And shout out to the showrunners and the writers, because you should not like this character, but yet she is the most interesting character. She's the most fun to follow, and she's the protagonist. But she's a bad person. But you kind of love to watch that.
Because
And that's a
Catherine Hahn
hard
also
balance to
sells
that
it.
too.
Well, Catherine Hahn also. Let's just talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
maybe top 5 for me as far as like god tier comics. Like comedic actors.
Sure, she's great.
Everything she's in. It's always the funniest part of the movie. I talk about Step Brothers, obviously. And then I just want to give a shout out to The Goods. If you've never seen it, she's specifically in that movie. It's the Jeremy Piven movie where he's a used car salesman.
Oh, right.
It's the dumbest movie you'll ever watch, but her character in it is fucking hilarious.
That was something I was missing from this entire show, because I didn't feel she's fun and she's comedic, and yeah, she's killed a bunch of witches and shit, but I don't care about any of these witches, right? So it's like I'm with her on her side, and I was like, she's never gonna she's gonna take care of teen. Like, I wasn't worried about the one person they gave me to care about, I did, and I was like, okay. So it's like I actually found myself not longing, because that sounds way, but I was like, oh man. As a villain, I liked her better in Wanda, but I understand, of course, you can't be a villain in 8 episodes or whatever, and like have it be something whatever. But yes, on paper, what she's doing is evil and super fucked up. But in watching the show, I'm like, yeah, you fucking rock. Go get him, Agatha.
I guess it didn't really fully hit me until we get is it the final episode of all the flashback sequences with her son?
Yeah.
Like, it's really in those moments where I'm like, oh my god, you are just like mass murdering so many people that are.
But do we care
trying to
about
help
witches? You know what I mean? They're bad. Most of them.
Are they though?
That was one of my other favorite things from this entire series was Patty, what's her name?
Patty Lupone, I want to say.
Giving the breakdown of
Lapone?
like, commercialism has ruined witches and it's done this and it's ruined our reputation and and the hats and the broom. I was like, that's fun.
And I
yeah,
love
the
that her
broom part is
episode is the one where they all have to be all those different witches. It's like, the writing was good in this.
Episode 5, Darkest Hour, Wake Thy Power. The Salem 7 arrive on the road and chase down the Coven, who evades them using makeshift flying broomsticks.
Awesome.
After being pulled back down by the road, they enter the next trial, which takes place in the form of a cabin with a 1980s aesthetic. The group sees a Ouija board and makes contact with Agatha's mother, who was killed by her daughter in 1693, along with her.
All right, we got to talk about the Ouija. Got to talk about the Ouija board. All right,
the Ouija.
Did you guys?
Lasers, quicksand, and Ouija boards. I stayed away from them.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's fair.
For good reason.
So watching this episode, all right, They're doing the Ouija, and it
Yeah.
starts spelling things out. I can't be the only one
It's hard to say. It's hard
that
to
was
read.
trying to
I think
spell
you
I
are.
can't do
as
it.
they go, and it was just like MRSHART. It's Mrs. Hart, but
Mr. Star.
Mr. Shart. I literally look at you. I'm like, Mr. Shart.
Dude, I'm so dumb. For a second, I thought it was We Are Marshall. I don't know why. I was like, Marshall? I don't know what's happening.
But isn't that fucking hilarious?
Mr. Shart. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and so they do this. The thing goes crazy. They talk to the mom. The Ouija board starts to scratch. This is where Agatha tells Billy or Teen, "You're just like your mother." Ooh, teasing us there. What's
what does that
happening?
mean?
Ooh.
She does that cool thing too where she goes like, pow, like the snake's teeth in her. And she's like,
I also love the nice little tiny throwaway line of, Ouija's not a verb.
let's go, excuse it. Let's go Ouija.
Let's go Ouija.
Ouija's not a verb.
Not a verb.
It's not a verb.
And then it ends with the reveal. If you hadn't put it together, of Scarlet Witch like crown on
Yep.
top of Billy's head.
Oh, then we got little Billie Eilish hitting.
Oh man, what
Come
a great
on, dude.
I mean, I just love the credits in this show. Same
Really
with-
great.
Incredible, man.
Yeah.
They just have such great imagery. and
Question for you
text.
guys. Did you watch all of them? Did you see all of the, because it's all the witches throughout like cinema and
Pop
TV, right?
culture
Pop
and
culture.
stuff.
One was The Craft.
Oh,
There's
I
a
saw
craft
that.
poster in Billy's room.
What is that owned by Disney? How did they get
I
the
mean, they
rights
own
to that?
everything.
Gotta
Do
be.
they? Yeah, I guess they do. They own me.
I don't think they own it, but I mean, like they have stuff all the
They
time.
had
They just
like
licensed
Simpson
it
as a
out.
witch.
They
Superman,
did,
Batman.
but they own The Simpsons.
Of course, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
They,
I wonder
I'm
if
sure they own the craft.
I forget the lady's name in The Craft, the one with like the
Yeah.
big teeth.
Yeah.
But I wonder
one
if she's
from
happy about
Waterboy.
this. Yeah.
Oh
she's in Waterboy.
yeah.
But even the Ouija, when it spells out death, it's like I
I can't do it.
did not see that coming. You can do what?
I just can't spell it. When they're spelling it out, I get lost. D. I'm like, okay, follow E.
But like,
Do.
even with that, I did not see it coming that Aubrey Plaza's character was going to end up being death. So like them like having teasing it there, I was like, that's fucking sick.
But I also didn't have the frame of reference to even know that Death was a character. So like that didn't mean a whole lot.
Eddie
to me.
Cortez, let me just fucking take it back
Yeah,
for one
take me
second.
back.
So in the comics, the
Thanos.
Infinity Gauntlet storyline is very different than it is in Infinity War and Endgame. Same concept, Thanos, whatever. He wants to kill a bunch of people to impress the love of his life.
Oh,
Lady
right.
Death. Lady Death.
I know of that. Okay, yeah, that's awesome.
And it's
And after seeing
pretty
her in
sick.
MCU, I get it.
100%,
Man,
right?
Patty.
So I'm just
I
like,
mean, it's
fucking
just-
universe for
I
that,
mean,
you
it's the
know?
same sort of goth hella vibes. I'm just like, God, that's just
yeah.
give me that.
And then in
you
the
know?
comics,
Give me that.
in the comics, eventually, I don't know if this is like canon at this point, but Death and Deadpool are a thing.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
It'd be crazy.
She'd be so annoyed of him.
Yeah.
Episode 6, Familiar by Thy Side. In flashbacks, William Kaplan, a teenager from Eastview, is celebrating his bar mitzvah, where he encounters Lilia. Reading on his palm is something she doesn't disclose. She casts a sigil to protect him, instantly forgetting his identity. The party ends when
I
the
love that,
hex,
by the way. The sigil affects the person who cast it as well as the person it was cast upon.
which was lost on me.
That's so cool.
When
though.
she did it and put it in his pocket, and then whose jacket? I don't know. I was like, oh, that's weird.
They set it up like briefly when they were all talking about how he has it on him,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Do you know who did it?" And they're like, and I think Agatha or maybe it was even Lilia was like, "I bet the person that cast it doesn't even know who did it because that's how it works. I think
Yeah.
that's what works." That's the whole point. So shout out to this actress, by the way, because I think that
Patty?
Patty LuPone.
Oh
Lapone
my god!
is.
I don't think it's Patty LuPone.
She's Italian, so I don't know.
knows?
I don't know. But she's got one of those cool intercaps names. I cannot, for the life of me, place this actress
Oh, because she's been in everything.
because she's been
She's
in
one of
everything. But I
those.
can't fucking chat.
She's
help
a
me out here if
Broadway
you're watching
person.
live. She is, but she's been in things that I've seen before, and I usually have one thing that like noodles around where I'm like, that's the thing I know her from. But she's been around forever. She, to me, is the best part of this whole show. I think, and her storyline and that arc is amazing.
The tarot card stuff, man. It's
So cool. It made me want to like get into tarot cards.
I got some Ghostbuster
man.
tarot cards out there. You're welcome to
Let's
use.
play after this.
Okay. Well, I'm looking through to try to find.
I try, dude. I challenge you. I don't know.
Well, that's the problem. Is I know you. She's one of those. Oh, I know you people.
been in everything. Yeah.
Let's go back. It's got to be the '80s. That's what we got to be doing here.
Toby Blue in the chat says she's a Broadway legend. Yes, Toby, that's
Do
amazing.
we look like
but
we're
that
on
does not-
Broadway a lot?
That
though?
doesn't
Shut
help
up,
me. I'm
Tony
not
Blue.
tap dancing out here, Tony Blue.
Tony Blue, pull over your car and just slam your head on the windshield.
Get out and just do it from the outside there. I don't want you to hurt your chest on the steering wheel.
Yeah, that does drive me crazy.
It's
You're
gonna
right.
drive me fucking nuts. Because at a certain point, I
But
was
again,
like,
when you're doing an episode of Will and Grace and an episode of Ugly Betty and like that's the kind of shit where I've seen you in a lot. She's 3 episodes of 30 Rock. Like
yeah,
we've definitely
that's
seen
probably
her
where I
in
know her
stuff,
from is
and it's
30
just
Rock
like,
and Frasier. Because I know she was in Frasier too at some point. But
baby, I hear the blues are calling,
tossed salad and scrambled eggs. Goodbye, San Francisco.
Anyways, we're in the Billy episode.
And it's crazy.
This was one of my favorite episodes, if not my favorite episode. Again, what I'm talking about, where I like it just to be, here's the narrative of what I'm getting and stuff.
You're a deep soul.
I like these people. Thank you
Deep
very much.
soul.
And of course, I thought it was cool, to be having a normal bar mitzvah and like to an extent and what's going on. And then hey, something's going on with the weird hex thing. We all got to go home. Like, that's cool. I
Yeah,
like
man.
that. Yeah.
Back in the world of WandaVision, right?
Yeah,
That was so cool. Him interacting with these the different characters that he now is dealing with, I thought was really, really cool as well. But the Evan Peters, man. Didn't see that
Boner!
coming.
Man.
Boner's back. And look, I feel like we can all agree that the Ralph Boner reveal in WandaVision is like one of the weakest elements of that show. Such a disappointment with they had it all there for us and they just let us down. I appreciate them doubling down on it though here. I feel like this version of him and him just being whacked out from the experience he had, I don't know that it made it all worth it, but I enjoyed it a lot.
I enjoyed this quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was cool when they were walking. I'm like, this is going to be him, but is it going to be him? Like, what are they? And it was him. I'm like, all right, it's him. You know what I mean? I like that.
At the end of it, of him being like, by the way, I can sell you some tickets on sale for my one-man show. I really need to fill some seats.
man, I've been there.
Oh, he's like, yeah, I left my entire Blu-ray collection behind.
That's a good line.
I do want to give a shout out to him too as a random 6 Degrees. He was also in Mar of Easttown.
Oh,
He was the detective in that
He
as well. So he's in a lot of
was.
there's
Solid
a lot
Mayor.
of Evan Peters.
And then
Mayor, excuse me.
not him, but another 6 Degrees thing is obviously his most iconic scene in a Marvel movie is the Time in a Bottle, and then they played Time in a Bottle.
Oh, yeah.
The next
Yeah.
episode, which is cool.
Anyways, then this all builds to almost it does catch up to reality, but we get to go see then from Billy's perspective, him infiltrating first, and I just really dug we're skipping over, I think, some great stuff of him coming home from the hospital and hearing his mom and dad's thoughts and
Yeah.
but they're not his mom and dad, but they are his mom. I really thought that was very grueling. That's painful to watch as you see the parents just trying to be good parents, him not understanding all this new world stuff, and then to see that jump ahead, and then him go and infiltrate Agatha's house, and then get his side of the interrogation with her, with the garden sprinkler head in her pocket. Right, Ryan, what do you call it?
God, that was
She's wearing the Boner family reunion shirt and the painting and all that stuff.
fucking scene in the whole thing.
She's
He's like,
overacting
"What?"
even more
Yeah.
into this character.
And he's like, what do you his
Oh,
his
you think this is
perspective?
really happening?
He's just totally, completely fucking confused the entire time. And she tries to kick him, but it doesn't. She kicks him out of his seat in her mind.
Yeah,
in his
yeah,
mind, he's like, what the fuck?
yeah.
So
And
good.
then the ending of her covered in mud screaming at him and figuring it out, and you're trying to find Tommy and stuff. I loved all this. I think start to finish, this is my favorite episode. Just in terms of what was happening, just great stuff across the board. Number 7, Death's Hand in Mine.
My favorite episode, man. This whole thing from the jump, I was like, are they doing what I think they're doing? And the answer was yes, but no. It's way better than you freaking think. I love the out of sequence stuff, the payoff of all of the Patty acting weird in all the other episodes of what are they doing here? The way they did it and her being out of time and out of sequence was, I think, so well done. And they just committed to the logic of it in a way that I appreciated, and all of the set pieces or all of the planes of action that were happening in this episode, I feel worked together where I was never bored about where we were. And man, it just kept going and going. And I had to pause multiple times to be like, this is way too good for this show.
It was
this
a really fun puzzle. And it was that episode, I remember you and I caught up at the same week, and it was this episode that came out. And this was on the level of our favorite stuff from Loki, straight up. It's so goddamn good.
Go for it, Greg.
No, I mean we're in it. We're doing it. We know it. We watched this. This is a great episode and a really fun thing. And Wicked Witch of the West, Maleficent, right? That back and forth, the tarot cards, but yeah, for me it was I love a good tie it all together. And so to see when they start going in of it reminded me so much of the
Inception.
No, and please shut up. I just touch you. It doesn't mean you talk. Okay? No, but
just wanted to
the
touch
Flanagan show, if it was a Haunting of Hill House, or right where we had seen the crooked neck woman throughout the entire show, and then the reveal of who it was and what it was, like
haven't seen
seeing that all come together, it's like, fuck, that's so good. And same thing here. And I loved, her about to be done with her life, sitting down with her grandmother at the first teaching or whatever. I'm like, it's so good.
That's fucking
And then
cool.
to end it with her sitting down for the first time.
Yeah,
That's
and the
time.
first shot being her falling. Like that
Yeah, yeah.
opening shot of
Yeah.
that, and then like just wondering like how is she going to fall? Like and the flipping of the tower, the
What do they
use
call
of the
it?
tarot
Not the
cards,
upside down tower.
Upside down, please.
the reveal when
Tilted tower or something.
we get the tarot cards throughout the entire thing, and they're fucking it up and all that stuff, which was great. But when she's fucking throwing down the knowledge, she knows exactly when she puts
When
each
she
one
realizes
down.
it's her trial, right?
And it represents each one of the people, and we get the shots of all of them, and like we see Agatha, and it looks the background's the exact same as the card. I'm like, this is fucking artful, man.
I'm such a dork with OCD that the final card, the whole time I'm like, why is there a cross in the middle of the fucking table? Like, I don't like that all the cards are this way, but then there's like a cross, and then she finally puts the other one down cross and like flips it over this way, and the whole thing like rotates. I'm like, oh, that's the coolest fucking thing I've ever
Genius,
seen.
yeah.
And as it rotates, like the whole world rotates with her. I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Great
Awesome.
finale of it. Awesome payoffs. I loved seeing her finally execute that final rotation of the tower. What was the actual tower called, though?
The inverted tower or something like that.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
can't remember. It was something fucking rad like that. It sounded like a jiu-jitsu move.
And
I'll be real with you.
her giving all of them like the one thing that they need for the future was just so sick.
the deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hit the deck
yeah,
when she
yeah,
calls you a
yeah.
coward or
Super
whatever.
fun.
Like that's so sick. And I referenced this earlier, but the thing that made me laugh hardest in the show was we're not cool teenager. Damn, use his full name.
It's called the Tower Reversed.
Sick.
That's what it was. Thank you for that, Langley.
Number 8, follow me, my friend, to glory at the end.
Wait, sorry. We also got the reveal of Rio being death in that episode.
Yeah.
That's come on. That was also practical. Like there was
saw
like
that.
prosthetics.
Oh, that's sick.
Pretty sick.
That's
It
cool.
wasn't just like a skull or a skull CGI.
Agatha agrees to give Billy to Rio, who views him as an abomination for gaining second life.
And this is that great shot too, where she's like, "What do you give me in return?" She's like, "Just leave me. Like, I'll die, but I never want to see you again." Basically, and you better be forever. She goes, "Okay," and then she does that cool thing where she just walks away, just cuts the psych, just walks right through it.
Billy and Jen rejoin Agatha at the end of the road, only to find that it goes to a circle. Billy puts his shoes back on, and the three are transported to a version of Agatha's basement with grow lights that slowly go out. Jen learns that Agatha was the witch who bound her and performs an unbinding spell.
I love this. I don't know, man. I just did some work for people in the 80s.
Yeah, you don't know. You took over my life.
I did a lot of it, you know?
She regains her abilities and disappears, having gotten what she needed from the road. Agatha helps Billy locate Tommy's soul, and Billy, and another great point of the journey. Am I killing this guy? No, sometimes boys just die, which is all you need to hear to be like, oh, I don't like where Agatha's story going. Billy disappears, and Agatha grows a flower through a crack in the floor using a seed from her locket, completing the trial. She escapes and finds herself in her backyard, where Rio awaits her with Billy. Agatha, resigned to her fate, kisses Rio and dies. Rio allows Billy to leave, and he returns home. Upon entering his room, he realizes that many of the objects in William's bedroom match aspects of the road, and he hears Agatha laughing. He did it all! He manifested a reality!
It was me.
This part I was a little lukewarm on because
I
I was
like this reveal.
but it wasn't until the next episode where we start really digging in and you realize the ramifications of it, that he created it, but then it was real and it had real world implications only because he wanted it to have them, and like the people interacting. It's a lot deeper than I gave it credit for. But at first I was like, did they just steal this from The Usual Suspects? Because it was literally the Kobayashi mug reveal and this and that. I'm like, sometimes that doesn't come off as clever as I think the creators would hope for. But then the next episode where we start realizing, like, we see the resolution, all that stuff, I was like, this is actually fairly expertly done.
I mean, what I loved about it too is I was talking about this at lunch, but I saw a side-by-side breakdown that it's like essentially this scene is very similar to the WandaVision reveal where Wanda realizes what she did, and like she's like kind of breaking the fourth wall, seeing all the decades of like behind the camera, like seeing that it's like, oh, she created this all false reality. There's shots of her walking through Westview that they like completely recreated with Wiccan, and like the exact same shots, exact same blocking and stuff. I'm like, it's freaking cool that both of them created these false realities, like either on purpose or not, but like it happened because they have this reality power, which is insane.
It's cool.
Really awesome. I liked seeing the more grown up professional version of what his costume is compared to, because I remember the way the young Billy looked in whatever the Halloween episode where they were trick-or-treating. It was cool kind of seeing like what the MCU
What a badass version
realization
of
of
it
it.
looked
Yeah, I like the hood.
I saw the costume designer was tweeting about it that the like robe thingy he has,
Yeah,
I don't know
little red
what-
hood
like,
sort of thing.
yeah, that the outside of it is the design print from Wanda's outfit in Multiverse of Madness, but the inside is the
Vision or
texture
something?
of Vision.
Oh,
That's
sick.
really cool. I like that a lot. Episode 9, Maiden Mother Crone. In 1750, Agatha gives birth to Nicholas, but is warned by Death that she will eventually take him. Agatha spends the next 6 years raising her son while killing witches.
Can we stop for a second?
Please.
Did we just skip the entire like the fight and everything?
Yeah,
we
we're
did?
gonna skip
I mean, we
that.
summarized it.
Yeah. I will never forget them busting out of the house and Aubrey Plaza just up on the roof cackling.
Yeah, that was
like it was just awesome. Like
During her
I
be-
just
during
love how
her
much
best
fun
Wicked
she's
Witch.
having. Yeah, like that stuff was great. And like the whole fight scene, like it. Yes, like this is where the budget showed or whatever. I didn't even care.
No, I thought it was
it was so well choreographed. It was hype as hell. Wiccan coming in like with you see all the sparks and stuff, and it's like, what the fuck is this going to be? And it being him, I was like, little bit of a misdirect for me, but I liked that. He looked awesome, and just everything about this really worked for me. And while it was predictable of like how it was going to go, of like sacrificing each other and like her dying, I thought they earned it. And this episode felt like any other Disney Plus would have ended here. So the fact that we got this next one, I was like, oh man, y'all went above and beyond in a good way.
Agatha spends the next 6 years raising her son while killing witches, which Nicholas grows to oppose. Together, they create a children's song that would eventually become the Ballad of the Witch's Road, and takes on a life of his own. Eventually, Nicholas grows sick, and death takes him, devastating Agatha. Cried.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, this one fucking got me so much, right? Of like just the quietness of death showing up and doing the come here and then pointing back, and he goes and kisses his mom.
Yeah,
Oh
that was
my
sad.
god, dude! And yeah, I like that she didn't show him her like real form. Like it showed a little bit of like that Death has a love for Agatha and isn't trying to like make this the worst thing possible.
Yeah, it's a business decision, Agatha. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be personal.
Which I thought was great, but yeah, man. I mean, even just the opening scene of like, or one of the opening scenes of Agatha giving birth.
Yeah.
And Death shows up, and it's just like,
She bargains her way out of it.
oh my god,
Yeah.
like that is some deep, heavy shit. I feel like they handled it really well. Like it didn't feel like that. It could have been tasteless, but I think that they avoided that in a very expert way.
In such a dope reveal then, not reveal, I guess, but of Agatha realizing the kid is such a great Trojan horse into anything, right? Of walking up to that coven of witches that have already put down the protection ring and be like, oh, we haven't eaten in weeks. And the witch thinks about it and then lets her in. And it's like, you see Agatha's light bulb of like, oh,
And then the screams.
I can use this kid to get everywhere. And then we continue on throughout
Yeah.
just to fucking ice witches left and right.
So sick. I love the montage.
Yeah,
of
right.
her just wrecking fools.
Yeah, exactly. Then with nothing holding her back, she continues murdering witches and stealing their powers by conning them with the promise of the road, which again, this is all so well done. Like, you know what I mean? In terms of recontextualizing everything up until this point and watching in that first witch who shows up like right afterwards, right? And it's just like, I'm here for the song. Like, oh, fuck, this is amazing.
Yep.
And see, this is what I love. This is what backs up sort of the reveal in the prior episode, because you're like, oh, it never existed.
Mm-hmm.
This was just a long con by a very accomplished con man for all intents and purposes. And then thinking, of course, like back to that first episode or second episode where she puts the team together, you have that moment where she's like, oh, it's not working. You guys are the worst witches ever. And you see what the implications of that are here. Awesome.
So sick.
really, really damn cool. Also neat seeing the different eras of her
Yep.
doing it throughout time.
Mhm.
Yeah, this was.
100%, yeah, the outfits keep changing. The 80s outfit looking badass.
Shoot, you know what? 8 out of 10 for me.
Hell yeah. Hell
There
yeah.
you go. There it
How high
is.
do we
Yeah.
go? You
We're
pulled
not
the
even
snowbike
done.
bike?
We're not even done. In the present, the ghost of Agatha tells Billy that he made the road a reality with his magic. He blames himself for the death of all their friends, but Agatha retorts that she was already planning to kill them and that Jen is alive, having escaped the road and with her magic restored because of him. Billy returns to Westview and tries to banish Agatha. She resists, afraid of having to face Nicholas in death. Billy relents and allows Agatha's spirit to guide him. After sealing the door to the road and recording the names of the fallen, Billy and Agatha set out to find Tommy.
So sick. Perfect end. Love that there wasn't a post credits. Like I feel like this was such a strong, just like, cool. We know where we're going. We completed the story, but there's more. Getting Agatha actually in like a comic accurate, like she's an older woman and now she's a ghost. I'm like, pretty cool. Like,
Sure.
and I also like how campy it was. Like she looked horrible, but like it It worked for me. It was very hocus pocus.
Yeah, it's very hocus pocus.
Do you expect to ever see them again?
100%.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been wrong many times about this stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get something related to this story in Wonder Man, which is next December, because that is related to this, but more on the Vision side of things. And then Vision Quest, I think, will be the search for Tommy and like the return of White Vision. Because remember, he's
Yeah,
out
no,
there.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Shivathesis, never forget.
And yeah, there's still no announcement of this, and I imagine that at some point it will happen, but I imagine it'll be post Secret Wars. I think we'll get a Scarlet Witch movie, and I
Sam
think,
Raimi will be back. He won't have watched anything. He'll have forgotten what he filmed.
I mean, honestly, I hope they give Jack Schaefer the Scarlet Witch movie. I feel like that would be the right call, and I will definitely see Agatha there, unless they shoehorn shit into Secret Wars. But I hope they don't do that.
Cool.
Yeah. So there we go. That is Agatha all along. Now it's time
You
for
do a
something.
good Wiccan cosplay, Andy.
Got the hair.
Yeah.
I mean,
Get the little headband.
I gotta lose about 400 pounds. The skinniest person
He's
you've ever seen in
very
your
I
life.
mean, you're just wearing the outfit.
Yeah,
you know
he's
what I
very
mean?
skinny. Ragu. Bagu.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rad Guys Talk Bad Guys, a podcast within a podcast where we rank all the villains of the MCU, X-Men universe, and a couple other things that have snuck their way in here for some reason. We, of course, divided into ranks and tiers. Right now, we have 62 villains ranked when it comes to this.
Gibblies.
We have tiers S through F. Who are the villains of Agatha all along, and where do we want to rank
I
them?
think it's Agatha. She's sort of the bad guy in this.
Is it Death? Death and Agatha?
I don't think Death's. I think Death's.
That's
sort of
just
like
doing her job,
neutral.
man.
Yeah, that's just kind of there.
I know another group that was just doing their job. They were called Nazis, all right?
Well, people have to die.
That's a clerk's quote if you don't remember, everybody. How about Chuli's gum? That's your
I do remember that. Man,
Great in
remember
review.
remember we did a
great in
review?
review.
Yeah, it's a weird
I
one.
mean, Death is the antagonist for sure, but only antagonizing because she's like, the bills due, bro. Like, I'm
Yeah,
trying,
yeah.
you know, that little kid is not supposed to be existing.
Agatha definitely is a bad guy. I'm just,
Yeah.
I was wondering, I'm just pontificating if we want to put it in there.
Okay, Agatha.
I mean, yeah, because like there were the Salem 7, right?
Yeah.
Like, but those were more just goons.
Yeah,
So-
they're gooning.
Yeah, I don't know that the show's strength as a villain. So
If
I
you're
don't,
putting Agatha as the villain, you're going to go high.
yeah.
Because Agatha's awesome.
I mean, I would say by the end of this, Teen is the protagonist, like is the
Yeah,
hero, and
okay.
Agatha is sort of the, I guess antagonist because she was trying to kill everyone in that room to begin with. Like everything she's done, if you track them back, was to basically steal these witches' power. It wasn't
you're
until the
winning
very,
me
very
over
end
here.
where she doesn't. She pulls a Darth Vader at the end, of course.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much
but
it.
he was still the bad guy in the movie. You're right.
Still the
You're
bad
right.
guy.
And the Emperor. Yeah. All right. I
Well,
like
Agatha's got to be S tier.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying.
I'm with you. I'm
S tier
definitely
looks
with
like
that.
this. Number 1, Thanos from Infinity War. Number 2, the Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 3, Namor from Wakanda Forever. Number 4, MBJ from Black Panther. Number 5, Bacon Guy, aka Zemo from Captain America Civil War. Number 6, Thanos from Endgame. Number 7, Gabby and crew from No Way Home. Number 8, Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Fuck it. I'm gonna go 6.
Wow. So you would put her below Bacon Guy and above Thanos.
Thanos from Endgame.
Yeah. This fucking cracks me up. We have fucking Bacon Guy on here.
Oh, man.
Here's what I would do. I would put her as a respectful 8. So below Gobby and crew from No Way
But
Home
above.
and above Scarlet Witch.
I'll put it there. Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
a
for
good
me, it's
spot.
just one of those things of like, Agatha is awesome, but even us are debating, is she the bad guy? Is she not the bad guy? Whereas like that fucking Willem Dafoe performance, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
He's getting fucking,
He's so good.
he's amazing.
You know
He's
what?
also
I'm
great
with
in
you.
that
I'm
game.
with you. I'm with
Okay.
you.
All right, then we're putting there you go. Entering the fray at the new number 8. It is Agatha from Agatha all along.
Ragu. That was
We
Bagu.
baggoed.
Now it's time to rank the MCU. We currently have 53 entries on this list.
Love it.
That includes.
Oh, sorry, Barrett. I formatted them like that because I thought it was going to be that other shot, but
Give me one second.
it just looks
It's just
my
a
bad.
little bit cut off. Yeah.
so squishy.
I understand what Inter Soldier is. We know there's a W at the beginning of that.
I know the kids know, but like it annoys me. You know?
So this 53 entry list includes 5 movies that were formerly of the Fox universe. We have Logan, Deadpool, Deadpool 2, Daredevil 2003 starring Ben Affleck, and Elektra on the list because we did the watches of those leading into Deadpool and Wolverine.
Such an unwieldy monster.
It really is, man. It's their doing, though. So where are we going to put Agatha all along? I want to start by saying, usually going into these, especially the Marvel ones, I think about this long and hard before I sit at this table. For this one, I was like, I'm not going to think about it till I'm right here. So I have no idea where I'm going to put it.
I'll start the bidding. Smack dab in the middle of this list. I would say right above. Where's What If? Where's What If season 1?
Yeah.
It's
That's
low.
46.
It's like 46.
I would do above What If season 2. Right below Doctor Strange.
I see that, and I will raise you. And this is funny because I was like, I don't think I like this as much as you guys did. I would raise you and say I would put it at number 20. Below Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, above Shang-Chi.
Man, I'm right
Whoa,
there,
that's
brother.
exactly where
I'm
I
right
was.
there.
This is what happens when you clear your mind.
I'm right there.
Let's get nudie.
I also love that like our modern day roadblock is Love and Thunder. Like that's always like the like is it above or below?
What movie do I hate?
But yeah, I was right there. Holy shit.
That's weird as hell.
Are you guys Wiccan?
Wicking out, man.
Yeah, because I will say I love Shang-Chi. I really love Shang-Chi.
I'm knocking against Shang-Chi,
I just want to say I want to rock for that movie because I feel like sometimes people like write it off as like, oh, nothing's been
love
good.
Shang-Chi.
I love it. I do think that they jumped the shark a little bit with the big dragon fight at the end. Loved the fight because it's cool and anime as hell. I just think storyline wise, like we could have got a little bit more with Shang-Chi and his dad fighting. So that's why I would put this above Shang-Chi, but all the love to my boy Shang-Chi. But damn, good for you, Agatha, all along. I don't think any of us would have thought we'd get it this high. Number 20. Of course, if you want to hear the entire list, I'm not going to read it right now.
Don't
You
be a
can
coward.
go watch. Fine, fuck it, Greg. I'll do it. Number 1, Endgame. Number 2, Logan. Number 3, Avengers Infinity War. 4, Spider-Man No Way Home. 5, Spider-Man Homecoming. 6, Captain America Civil War. 7, Thor Ragnarok. 8, Captain America The Winter Soldier. 9, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 10, Deadpool. God, what a top 10. 11, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. 12, Loki. 13, Loki Season 2. 14, WandaVision. 15, Avengers. 16, Guardians 1. 17, Deadpool and Wolverine. 18, Deadpool 2. 19, Guardians 3. 20, Agatha All Along. 21, Shang-Chi. 22, Thor Love and Thunder. 23, She-Hulk. 24, Iron Man. 25, Spider-Man Far From Home. 26, Black Panther. 27, Doctor Strange. 28, What If Season 2. We're halfway done, Andy. 29, Werewolf by Night. 30, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. 31, The Marvels. 32, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. 33, Hawkeye. 34, Miss Marvel. 35, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. 36, Echo. 37, Captain Marvel. 38, Ant-Man and the Wasp. 39, Ant-Man. 40, Black Widow. 41, Iron Man 2. 42, Avengers, Age of Ultron. 43, Captain America, the First Avenger.
Way too low.
44, Guardians of the Galaxy, Holiday Special.
Awesome.
45, Iron Man 3. 46, Eternals. 47, What If Season 1. 48, Moon Knight. 49, Hulk. 50, Thor. 51, Thor 2. 52, Daredevil 2003 starring Ben Affleck. 53, Secret Invasion. And 54, Elektra.
Great job, Timmy.
The 55th entry that we will be reviewing, What If Season 3.
Yeah.
The final season of What If coming out this December. We did it, everybody.
It's a good one.
It is. Like I was saying, next week we're going to be doing Inside Out 2 in review. And the week after that, we're turning to the Batman with the Penguin. Until next time, I love you all. Have a marvelous day.